You are listening to Single Smart Female.
This is us letting it all hang out for your love life, examining Steph's dating experiences and answering your hot topic dating questions. Just you, Steph, and me. No topic is off limits and no filters involved. This is Jen.
And I'm Steph. If you have a question about your love life that you would like us to answer, you can submit your question at singlesmartfemale.com.
Welcome, single smart female friend, to Master Men Theater. I'm Jen Burton, and I'm joined by my pretty nice co-host, Steph. Say hi, Steph.
Hello, everyone.
And we have a very special listener question that we would like to address today here on Single Smart Female. Our listener question
comes from Too Much for Two in Michigan. And she writes, I am all about the mantourage dating. I love it. Mostly. I'm recently divorced after 4 years of marriage, but have been separated for 7 months. I started meeting guys via online apps about 5 months into my separation. Because my ex-husband cheated on me, I got on Tinder and basically met guys just to screw them. And I did it like I was out for revenge. I didn't care if I ever heard back from them again. The ones I thought had dating or friend potential, I let them take me on dates, and I did not put out, but kissed if it felt right. This lasted about a month when I met Jay. Names have been changed to protect the not so innocent. Jay was everything I wanted in a guy. He was a divorced dad, had his shit together, handsome as hell, held open car doors, all doors, held my hand in public, and I often would catch him staring at me in awe while we watched TV.
Nice.
I remember thinking, why couldn't I have met him 6 months from now when I might actually be ready for a relationship? When we went out a couple times and said neither of us were ready for a relationship, but friends with benefits would be fine, so that's what we did. We saw each other a lot over 2 weeks. He always initiated, which was fine because I was too scared to after he made a comment about making sure we don't get too attached. Then one day I asked him to do something, and the next thing I knew, he was gone. Nothing. I went back to hooking up, but on a lesser scale than before. T, who I'd seen several times, and he knew I wasn't looking for anything serious, used to shower me with good morning beautiful and how's your day and sweet dream texts, but stopped talking to me when he asked if I was seeing other guys, and I said yes. Enter G. Divorced guy, perfect first date. He wanted exactly the same things. We wanted to date and sleep only together. He hadn't had sex in 2 years since his divorce, but keep the lines of communication open and honest when it came to other people. We texted, we called. He too showered me with the kind words and texts. Second date. Perfect. But we both got sick. He was down for almost 3 weeks. I checked up on him while we were both sick to see if he was better. He wasn't. Then, on week 3, I said, hey, I'm feeling really vulnerable because I've asked you out several times, and I get that you're sick, but you're taking days to respond to texts and completely stopped calling. So I'm going to stop asking. I like getting to know you and we have fun together and it'd be great for that to continue. So give me a call when you're feeling better. He texts back 2 days later saying he had a reaction to his antibiotics and was still sick. Plus was going through something regarding custody and was feeling down. I offered to take him out and cheer him up. And crickets. Then there's B, also a divorced dad. He had his kids a lot, so we only saw each other when they were with his ex. During our 2 weeks together, he expressed his concern for the upcoming finalization of my divorce and how he was afraid I'd lose interest once I got that freedom, and he was afraid of getting hurt. I assured him I had been dating for a while and got that out of my system, even though I wasn't ready for a full commitment just yet. I haven't seen him since my divorce was finalized because he tapered off on our text conversations. I date other guys while I'm seeing these guys. I'm careful not to put too much energy or focus on any one of them, but I do have my favorites. What am I doing wrong that they don't want me after 1 or 2 dates or 2 or 3 weeks of hanging out? I have their attention prior to the date. We text, we talk, it's all good. But after a date, I get nervous that I'm the crazy girl if I text them. And when I do, they don't respond like they used to. Maybe it's my nerves or my own insecurities. Can guys smell fear? You know, like bees? I don't know what I'm doing so wrong that they just disappear. I'm currently seeing 2 guys, both of whom I like a bit. I'm still going on an extra date with a new guy every week, and I keep it very innocent. I don't even kiss the extra date. I'm worried I'm either A, going to do whatever it is that I apparently do to drive both guys off, or B, I may have to eventually choose between them. But what if I make the wrong choice?
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so a little bit more about Miss Too Much for Two. She is 36, hails from Michigan, Steph's home state. And you two would have been good friends, huh?
Besties.
Perfect. Okay. So there's a lot to dive in to here. And I want to say, first off, I don't think that you're doing anything truly wrong. So I want you to take that out of your vocabulary because you are an adored woman, and adored women, we don't do things necessarily that are wrong. We do things that sometimes need tweaking. And I see a lot of great things going on here. Now, obviously, throughout this conversation, from what you have shared with us, you can see and you've admitted to that you have some walls up, for lack of a better word, because of what happened with your ex and then going through the divorce. I'm very proud of you for taking on the task of Mantourage dating. I'm also proud of you that you got the revenge sex out of your system. Or at least it seems like you have. But now you're caught in this place of romantic vulnerability. You're starting to find your favorites. Mm-hmm. You're starting to tap into the vulnerability of dating and realizing that you like some of these men, and it really sucks ass when you don't hear from them again. And of course, there's a lot of insecurities that can build up around that, especially when you think everything is going well. The thing that stands out, and I'm Steph, help me with this, and going through her submission, Miss Too Much for Two. Does she, it seems like to me, and I get the impression that she sees these guys that she really likes very intensely in the first couple weeks, meaning multiple times within the week, not just like 1 or 2, but several times.
I think that is the case.
Okay. So that is something I would identify as a pattern. Sometimes that works for women, but I'm going to tell you a lot of times it doesn't. It doesn't mean it can't work. But if that is the case, that's a pattern. And what we like to do here at Single Smart Female, or when you work with us in our group class, the Courage Kit, we like to help women identify the things that they have done in their dating life and do something differently. So that pattern for you may not be working, but it could be a pattern for me that works perfectly fine. So not every woman has the same pattern. And I don't want to say exactly that this is always a pattern for every woman. So I want to make that very clear. But that looks like that might be a pattern. And so what I want to suggest to you is maybe in the initial phases of dating somebody new, I want you to slow down the process and take it at your pace. Now, I know sometimes we think, well, I was taking it at my pace, but I'm gonna push back and say a lot of women are actually taking it more of a guy pace. He's really excited to see me, so I'm going to go ahead and see him. And I know you're really excited to see him too, but if that doesn't seem to be working, and again, insecurities are building up when these guys kind of they go MIA on you or just fall off the face of the earth permanently, then I want you to start there with that pattern, okay? So slow it down. Really reconsider, is this really my true dating pace, or would I like to see before I invest intensely and emotionally
intensely emotionally. Can I put those together? Yes, intensely emotionally into this man. I'd like to see him have time to demonstrate to me that he's actually going to show up, that it's worth being romantically vulnerable with him, and know that he's not going to disappear the moment that I am. Okay. If you do that by identifying that pattern and start to tweak that, now that may not be the complete answer in this situation. There might be a lot of other pieces, but if you start to do that, you'll start to see that what needs to be tweaked in your romantic life. Because a lot of people try to give you very across the board advice. Yes, we do recommend that you continue entourage dating. That's our across the board advice. But it's very nuanced to every particular woman, especially when we're talking about identifying patterns. This one might be one of yours. You can start to tweak it and start to learn from it and see where it takes you. Now, also, sometimes things are happening in your romantic life because you think you want one thing, but your soul is really calling for something else. So maybe after you went through your revenge period and, your period of being angry, and now you're more in your romantic vulnerability, maybe there's still something in you that's calling out for something bigger. So maybe it's not that you really, truly want a relationship right now. Maybe it's you want to see how to inspire men to adore you, and you want to unravel all of those pieces.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So with all of that said, I want to encourage you there. That's where you're going to start, is by identifying that one pattern and maybe some other patterns that don't seem to be working out. I don't want you, and by the way, when I say all this, just because you slow down the dating pace, that doesn't mean I'm asking you to act like you don't like him. Okay? This is really important. We confuse a lot. We confuse taking things at our own pace for feigning disinterest. It is 100% okay to be interested in a man and to express your interest in it. You can do it in a playful way, and that works really, really well. I want to go back to Steph. Do you mind? Can you find where the text that she sent him?
Oh, yeah.
The text that was sent?
I actually didn't mind at all what she said in that text.
Okay, tell me again.
All right. Give me just 1 second. Let me pull it up here. Okay. It says, "Hey, I'm feeling really vulnerable because I've asked you out several times, and I get that you're sick, but you're taking days to respond to texts and completely stopped calling. So I'm going to stop asking. I like getting to know you, and we have fun together, and it'd be great for that to continue. So give me a call when you're feeling better."
And what happened right after that?
He texted back that he had a negative reaction to his antibiotics, and he was going through some custody stuff.
Okay. I will say, by the way, I did like how you put that text. I wouldn't tweak much to that. That was a really well written text. I like how you still expressed your interest in him, which I thought was really great. And you drew a line. And I didn't think it was over the top. I think sometimes we as women, we want to be so clear and that we're a little harsh. And I find myself sometimes doing it with my husband. So I think we need to, instead of worrying so much about the clarity and making sure it's absolutely clear, do what you did here. You made a statement. It was good. You expressed that you are interested in him. I thought that was really great. Now, as for the whole custody situation, let's talk about guys in custody situations here for a second. This is something I talk about regularly with clients. Custody situations can be hairy. Not going to lie. Guys, especially, are not going to burden you when you guys have not invested. You're not in a committed relationship yet. They're not going to burden you with all of that because that's their baggage and they want to deal with it. And it sounds like he indeed was sick, and I know what that feels like to be sick for that long. It's really hairy on top of having a custody situation. It is best at this point to do something that we teach in our course, in the Courage Kit specifically, called push-pull. Basically, what you're going to do, and this is the female version of it, is when he is pulling away from you, you're going to push him in that direction, meaning you do that by focusing your attention on the other pieces of your life. Always look at when a guy pulls away, even though it doesn't feel great, as an opportunity for you, which means, are you neglecting anything in your life? Is there anything? You've talked a lot about, the great men the men that you've been dating and all the things going on with them, is there anything that you start neglecting when you start dating men? Is it all about the men? Or have you been keeping up with your self-care? Are you having fun with your girlfriends? Are you doing things that light you up? All right. Your life should never be exclusively about men. And I'm not saying that it is, but I want to make sure that I address that with you, because if it is, that energetically does come off. That stinks to guys. Guys can smell that. Okay. When it's just about them. The only guys it doesn't stink to are mentally unstable guys. All right.
Like bees.
Yes.
Sorry.
Just like bees. Can they smell fear? Like bees. That was perfect. Yes, they can sense fear, but it's more of the desperation that they can. And desperation comes off even if you're not saying it. It's by not having things that really light you up in your life.
Yeah. Even if you don't feel like, you may not feel desperate for this specific guy. It just could be that you're not incorporating all these other important things in your life. And I've done that where I'm like, I don't actually, like, I don't really care that much. Like, of course I don't want to be rejected, but I don't care that much. But then I realized, like, but I haven't been getting any sleep and I haven't seen my friends in weeks. And, I'm working all the time and I'm only making time to go on dates. She hasn't showered,
so she actually smells. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I don't smell. Sometimes I don't smell. And something that I noticed is that it sounds like you're going on roughly 3 dates a week. And that's totally fine, but sometimes that's very hard to sustain. And if you're a social butterfly, that's awesome. But if you're not and you're using all of your social time to only go on dates and giving all of your time to your mantourage, that smells like desperation. Doesn't mean you're desperate. It just, it's like, oh shit, she's banking all of her energy on these, like, on time with me.
And the way you look at a guy or the way that you act around a guy, guys can sense when you're nervous. They may not be able to articulate it to you or ask you about it, but we read more body language than we realize that we do. We intuitively know. So we might logically read it incorrectly, but intuitively we know something is off, and it might even come across as he makes you uncomfortable, which guys aren't a big fan. At least mentally stable guys are not a big fan of making you uncomfortable. So the other thing that I wanted to add that to Steph's brilliant statement about looking at how many dates you're going on and whether or not you're addressing your friends and things like that is, are you addressing your downtime? We all need downtime. If you're on the go all the time, I love women dating. I love women having a great time dating. But if you are on the go all the time, that at some point is going to tear you apart because you have no time to digest all the good and all the fun that's happening in your life. So Ninon de L'Enclos, and I believe I've said this before, I'm pretty sure I have, one of her statements, she was a famous French courtesan, one of her statements is, love never dies of starvation. It only dies of indigestion. So I want you to think about that for a minute. So spending too much time together, if that's indeed happening, really important. Pace yourself at the beginning. Then if you've got that remedied, are you spending enough time with yourself? Are you having downtime? Do you have time to process and to acknowledge all the good that's going on in your life? Do you let it sink in? Do you go outside and stick your feet in the grass and just breathe in the air and slow down for a minute? Are you living at a really fast, high-paced life because you're afraid of what it means to slow down and afraid that it'll feel lonely? And just instead, take that moment, even if it's a day or two. Maybe you take off a week from dating. Maybe you take off 2 weeks and just enjoy what's been given to you.
Yeah, and most guys, guys are always going to be excited to see you and they're going to want to see you again and as soon as possible, and that's awesome. But they're also not so impatient that they won't wait. They'll wait. If you say, oh man, I'd love to see you again. I don't have availability this week, but next week at this time or this date, or maybe in 2 weeks, I have this time available. Most guys will wait to see you. I mean, they're probably not going to sit around and wait they'll give you the time and space that you need.
Well, Steph, she did mention that when she mentioned to that one gentleman about that he stopped dating her, and I wouldn't be surprised. Now, of course, I'm not a psychic and I'm not a forecaster but I wouldn't be surprised if you end up hearing from that gentleman again, the one that you told that you were dating other men. But at the same time, if that does happen, every single time a guy disappears because of that, like if he's asked you and you've made that statement, trust me, if he disappears and it's permanent, that is the universe protecting you, because that guy can't handle you.
Today's episode is brought to you by Make Him Want You Again online class. If you would like to learn exactly what to do, say, or text to make yourself irresistible and unforgettable in his mind, meet us over at makehimwantyouagain.com. Welcome back, single lady, to segment 2. Today we're going to talk about the top 5 things that you need to know to Mantourage date. Or do.
Or have.
Oh dear.
Shit. Yeah, here we go. Ready? Number 5, a sense of wonder, adventure, and a damn good sense of humor.
Ooh, I like it.
Yes.
Yes.
You have to be willing to go on this adventure. It's not about racing to the destination. It's about enjoying
the journey.
Your mantourage dating. Enjoying men stepping up for you in different ways. If you're too scared all the time and you're too jaded and that's the only spin that you're going to put on this and not really give it a chance to immerse yourself, or you need to, if things don't work out within a few weeks or even a month or two, then that's just way too much pressure on the situation. Allow it to lift you up. And please, ladies, please don't lose your sense of humor. It's really, really important. These are, not every date is going to be perfect, but if you have a great sense of humor, you can make the best out of each date and you get fantastic stories.
So many good stories.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, you're going to hear our embarrassing moments that Steph and I have had dating here soon on an upcoming podcast. All right, number 4, great online dating profile. Yes, if you want to create a great mantourage, one of the best places to go outside from your social dating, which I think is wonderful too, and I think you need both, but good online dating profile, one of the best places to go, large pool of single men is online. Mm-hmm. In order to do that, let us help you. Crappy whatever profiles will set you up for crappy dating experiences. So go to helpmeonlinedate.com and we will help you by giving you the first 2 chapters of our online dating program for free.
For free.
Helpmeonlinedate.com. Number 3. Remember this. This is really important. Date your men, date your friends, and your family, but also date yourself. Don't forget to date yourself. It is okay to take yourself to a movie. It is okay to take yourself out to dinner.
It is okay to go to bed early.
Yes. We'll get to that in a second.
Or binge watch your television show.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
It's really
to
okay.
date yourself, you can do whatever you need to do to feel better.
Digest all the other things that are going on in your life so you can make space for new and even better stuff. Okay, number 2, choose quality over quantity. Now, this was Steph's, and I like it a lot. Would you like to elaborate?
Well, the whole mantourage dating thing works because you need to enjoy yourself. This isn't about proving to a guy that you have all these options. It's about enjoying your dating experiences. So you are better off dating 2 really great guys that you're interested in versus 5 that you're not. Or same thing, as far as your dates go, you don't need to be going on 5 dates a week. If that's too much for you, go on 1 or 2 really good, quality, fun dates. And, well, yeah, basically that's it. Quality over quantity.
I agree. I definitely agree. I do want to say, though, because I know ladies, make sure you're not disqualifying guys too quickly just because they get nervous or something on a first date and maybe aren't the funnest. Give them the opportunity to keep stepping up for you by having a great time with them. Also, it is completely 100% okay when you go to helpmeonlinedate.com and you start your new profile and new online dating experience. It is okay to qualify men a little bit more to go out on a date with you by spending more time with them online. You do not have to go at his dating pace of, hey, I like you. Would you like to meet for a drink? You can take your time and build some interest online, have some conversations there, and then go out on a date and see what happens. All right, number 1. Do you know what number 1 is, Steph?
I do know what number 1 is, Jen.
Can you say it for me, please?
Sleep. Get good sleep. This is very, very important.
Steph struggles with this a lot.
I do. And it makes a huge difference.
Ladies, I've had numerous women come to me and I have to tell them to go get some fucking sleep first, because if you are chronically sleep deprived, so many things in your life are going to suck, not just your dating. But if your dating really sucks, that's one of the biggest places I would look. Are you getting some good sleep? Do you feel overstimulated, over caffeinated, over everything in this world because you aren't getting the restorative process that your body needs on a regular basis? Now, I'm not saying you have to sleep all the time unless you're really chronically sleep deprived. And then maybe taking a whole weekend to sleep would be a very good thing. But I can't emphasize this enough. Nothing functions very well when you are sleep deprived. And we as Western societies, actually around the world, women are becoming more and more sleep deprived. So make that a priority right now. And then come to me and I will definitely help you with your dating life. Okay, lover girl, it's time for the final thought on today's show.
Dating is not a sprint. If you're frequently seeing a man you really like at the beginning and it doesn't work out, then it's time to reconsider what your dating pace is, not just his. Today's episode is brought to you by Make Him Want You Again online class. If you would like to learn exactly what to do, say, or text to make yourself irresistible and unforgettable in his mind, meet us over at makehimwantyouagain.com.
This is Jen.
And this is Steph.
Don't forget to subscribe to our show in your favorite podcast app, as well as share Single Smart Female with all of your single girlfriends. And if you would like to play around to learn more about Mantourage dating, come see us at havehimyourway.com.
Talk to you next time.